You switch to the checkout line that looks faster, and within 10 seconds it grinds to a dead stop. That's not bad luck, honestly. That's simple math. Stacked against you before you even got in line. This happens to almost everyone who's ever grabbed a cart, yet it still feels weirdly personal every time. So why does your brain insist the universe is targeting you personally, instead of just math being math? There's a documented idea called occupied time versus unoccupied time, and waiting with nothing to do feels way longer. Business researcher David Maister actually mapped this out in his classic study on the psychology of waiting lines. Translation: standing still doing nothing feels almost twice as long as the exact same time spent moving. And there's a second brain trick stacked on top of that one, making the wait feel even worse. Psychologists call it negativity bias. Bad experiences just stick to memory far harder than good ones ever do. You remember every stall in painful detail, and you completely erase every single time you cruised straight through. So your brain quietly builds a story. The universe waited specifically for you, then timed the price check perfectly. Here's the part that should actually make you feel better. None of this is personal, it's pure probability. Walk into a standard 3-lane checkout and you've only got a 1 in 3 shot of picking the fastest one, which means 2 out of every 3 times, mathematically, you're standing in a slower line than someone else. A Danish mathematician actually worked this exact problem out over a century ago, solving something totally unrelated. Agner Krarup Erlang modeled how random call arrivals jam a shared telephone system, and checkout lines obey the same law. One slow, complicated transaction up front doesn't just cost that one customer, it ripples backward through everyone behind them. A single 2-minute price check for the person in front can add 10 minutes total across the whole line. So it's not that your line is cursed, it's that most lines, mathematically, just aren't the fastest one. Which makes the guy who showed up after you look like he's somehow winning a race you didn't know existed. Here's a twist though. Someone with a completely full cart can check out faster than 4 people with tiny baskets. Every checkout carries fixed overhead per person. Scanning a loyalty card, swiping payment, bagging, it all adds up. So 4 small carts can rack up more total overhead than one giant one. Wait, seriously? Kevin picked the express lane with exactly 1 item, then spent 4 minutes hunting for an expired coupon. The cashier has stopped making eye contact with him entirely, and at this point, honestly, who could blame her? Now stack a whole new layer of chaos on top of all that old-fashioned math. Modern checkout technology. Self-checkout AI in 2026 can flag a plain bag of apples as unrecognized item and freeze the entire lane. Some stores now use palm scan biometric payment, and one bad scan means a manual override nobody predicted. None of that shows up in any classic queuing formula. It's pure unpredictable friction bolted onto old math. Meanwhile, buy online, pick up in store orders quietly pull cashiers away to fetch someone else's forgotten pickup bag. So your line doesn't just slow down, it can stop completely while an employee vanishes into the back room. Old-school line theory never accounted for one cashier splitting attention across 3 completely different jobs at once. Which means the tricks your parents used to pick a good line mostly don't apply in a hybrid store anymore. So what actually works, besides just quietly accepting your fate every single week? Watch the cashier, not the line. Someone scanning fast with both hands free beats a shorter line every time. Count total items across everyone ahead of you, not the number of people. That's the real predictor of speed. One person with 60 items in a single basket can beat 5 people carrying 4 items each, easily. Airports and banks figured this out decades ago. They use one single winding line feeding every open counter. Researchers even proved mathematically that combining separate lines into one isn't always better, but it usually is fairer. That single file setup guarantees whoever's waited longest gets served next. No lane-picking gamble required at all. It's mathematically proven fairer. No more 1 in 3 guessing, just first come, first served every single time. Grocery stores still resist it though. One giant line just looks scarier to shoppers than 3 short ones. That's the same negativity bias again, this time working against the store's own design instead of your memory. So next time you're stuck, you're not cursed. You're just standing inside a proven mathematical certainty. Maybe the stall isn't an attack. Maybe it's just 3 unclaimed minutes nobody else can interrupt today. No notifications, no meetings, just you, a conveyor belt, and a stranger's questionable amount of frozen pizza. The other line was never actually faster, it just hadn't found its own bad luck yet. You're not the exception to the math, you're just proof that someone, every time, has to be it.